Hey everyone, welcome to Two Sisters and Two Mics, where we talk about all things basketball. Today we're going to focus on Toronto Raptors and how they improve their game.
Awesome. Yeah, this is like one of our favorite topics as well, aside from, the previous one that we did a couple days ago. We love Toronto Raptors. We were super ecstatic when they won the
The
championship.
championship.
And it's definitely a pastime, for our family. Keisha watches it. I watch it. My dad and my mom, well, our dad and our mom also watch as well. So
Yeah,
it's something that we really, really like. We really
we're
like
we're a big
this
fan.
team. Yeah, exactly. So we did see, they did not make it to the playoffs, which was a bit disappointing. But to not say the least, we love the Toronto Raptors. We're not fans that are kind of sometime-ish. No matter whether they're doing good or bad, we're gonna hang in there, and we are actually loyal to the Toronto Raptors. And we just came up with some pointers on what we think will make them a better team going forward for the future, and what will help them to be able to make it to the playoffs, because like as players, this is their job, but they do want to be successful, and we do want to see the Toronto Raptors in the playoffs, playing against their competitors or other teams.
hmm
So let's get started in terms of the strategies of how they can improve better for the future. So the first one we have on the list is playing the bench players a lot. We did see with Coach Nick Nurse, it seemed like he didn't have much confidence in his bench players as much. And we see
hmm
that he was like overworking the starters throughout the season, which I think contributed to not that the starters are great, but I think not kind of mixing it up. It definitely was detrimental to the players. They were overworked, and
Yeah,
that probably also caused injury amongst some players as well. So
of
what do
course.
you think? Like, do you think that it would have made a huge difference if, emphasis was placed on playing the bench players?
I 100% think that he should have played the bench players because, like you said, they were tired. They're probably like, after you're tired so much, your body kind of like causes injuries, and like you won't be able to think straight too because you're like, oh my gosh, I have to get up again and start running again to play basketball. When the bench players could like, there's some bench players that can actually play and you're not giving them an opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to play some basketball, and then you never know, there could be someone on the bench that can shoot you some threes or some twos and get the points up, which our
Exactly.
team needed.
Exactly. And even like Malachi Flynn, I think he's a wonderful player. Even like Delano Banton, that's
Yeah,
also another good bench player as well. And in order for players to develop, you can't be scared that, oh my God, I'm not gonna put them on the floor because I'm scared they're gonna make a mistake or they're gonna mess it up or they're gonna cause us to lose the game. You have to have confidence in them. And when players continue to play through their flaws, and they do it intentionally, like in terms of their game is intentional, they will improve over time. But if they don't get that
yeah,
opportunity and they're just sitting on the bench, what a career waste to me. I don't know.
yeah, it is a career waste. And also too, like the players on the bench, right, they're gonna think that you like don't have confidence in them, and they're
Hmm.
gonna feel a little bit down, like it's like, oh come on, I can't even get a chance to like play some ball, and then even sometimes too, they probably don't even come to the games because they already know they're gonna be on the bench. So,
Hmm.
what's the point of coming? So it's like sad because I looked at the bench and there's no way that's like all the players,
Yeah, but I
so
I
which
think they're obligated to come, regardless of, I think per like maybe contract terms,
yeah,
they have
yeah,
to come, but they're just on the bench. I'm not sure if they could miss games unless maybe they're sick or something like that,
yeah,
perhaps.
okay.
Yeah, but I think they
Mm.
do have to go on the they do have to sit. Can you imagine that? That's so annoying.
I know. Yeah. And you're sitting everyone playing and you're like, oh my goodness, why am I sitting here in like not in my jersey? Why am I in
Yeah.
like regular clothes? Like,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
used to
And it,
think before, like, you know what? If I'm getting $1 billion, I don't mind sitting on the bench, but that's not a good mentality. You want to
no, it's
play.
not. Yeah. And then you want to kind of earn your money too. You can't just say, oh, okay, let me just get a free 1 million, you know? Like no, you don't feel happy about that. Like it's like you earn money for like waste, basically, because
Yeah.
you're not playing. And another thing too, like there's a lot of like old veteran players that he
Hmm.
had on the side on the bench, and he wasn't playing them, which like you should know that they're experienced. You got them for a reason,
And have
So I feel like
confidence. Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah, I
can
don't know.
you really call yourself a good coach if you don't have confidence in like some of your players? That
Yeah,
a
no.
coach is supposed to help you to get better. And there's different types of coaches. Like some people do coaching, like they seek coaching for like maybe personal developments. But if you are a coach, your your motto should be like, helping players improve and bringing out the
Hmm.
best in players. That's what comes in my mind when I think of like what a sports coach would do,
Yeah.
help me to be better as a player. That's just my thing. And having
Even
that
if you're a
confidence in me.
rookie.
Even if I'm a rookie, exactly. So that's the point of like with being developed and that sort of thing. Yeah, I really, really thought that, he could have played the bench a little bit more. Look at the year that we won the championship. Like he
Yeah,
actually did that. He
yeah,
believed in the bench
he
players.
did.
So
Also, too, like, I noticed like when he played the bench players towards the end, like it was like 1 minute, I think, left.
can you
And
imagine?
the but
What is
but
one
like
money gonna
come
do for my
on.
career?
Yeah. And but then also too, like he would play them and then they were like pretty good. They would get like our points would be so like far down and they would like bring the points at least close. So it won't look
Hmm.
so bad, you know,
Yeah,
the
so true.
scoring.
Yeah, that's so true. And you do need help with the scoring. So I think that's a
Hmm.
really good point that you mentioned. And then the second point is I believe, well, we believe that team play is like plays a huge role in helping the Toronto Raptors to be successful going forward. We did see
Yeah.
with the championship that we won in the past that when they played together cohesively as a group, it was more successful in terms of helping them beat teams that are strong as well. What do you think about
Yeah.
team play? Because I've seen some people they're like thinking about themselves when they're playing, especially I see that a lot with like Fred Van Vliet, and we're not saying we hate him, we're just this is just perceptions. Like I find like he hogs the ball a lot, and it's just like he wants to score like 30, 35, 40 like on his own, but it's like buddy, like if you're in a position where you can't score the ball,
Yeah.
or there's people on the other team that are taller than you, give give it to somebody else and let them score the ball that's taller than you. Like, why are you playing hero ball? I don't get it.
Because like he knows at the end of the day if he shoots like a lot of points, right, it's like a record for him, right? So like if he doesn't, he you can tell he kind of feels a little bit down. So
Yeah, yeah, I
like
noticed that with him too. Like, come on, Fred, now. Like, this is a team. You're not playing basketball
yeah,
by
you have to
yourself.
share the ball, and it's like when you share the ball it's also communication too with each other. Then that kind of grows like a bond, like you guys can play like in
Exactly.
sync.
In sync, yes, that's the word. Yes, totally, totally, totally. Like, I don't know. Do you find like there's other players that you find that hogs the ball, or it's just like I've noticed Fred, I haven't really I'm sure there's other people
um
that do it on the team too, but I noticed like he does it like a lot
I
more
th-
than other
I think
people.
sometimes he not Pascal like a lot. He does share the ball, but once in a blue moon he does kind of hog the ball a little bit because he's like, okay, I want to go like straight through them and just like score, which it's wrong sometimes because sometimes he doesn't even get it in, right? because
Yeah.
they like to do this toss ball thing,
Yeah.
like toss the ball in. So, but other than that, he doesn't really he shares the ball. So I don't
Yes. Yes.
think anyone else on the team
That you could
really
think of.
hogs the ball that much. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure as we said, a few will probably do it. But Fred, it's like he's always trying to do some um career record. And I get it, like when a lot of players, what they do is when they know that their contract, they're in a contract year, they tend to
Hmm.
do selfish ball a lot more because they're just like, okay, if
Or
I'm
slack.
making, yeah, or like no, well, do they slack off or they pay more? They play more harder, do you think? It's a contract
At the
year,
end
if
of
they
the
be slacking
contract? Mm,
because they want more
sometimes,
money,
yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, but then sometimes I feel like they do slack a little bit because
They
they
do
kind of like
slack,
they're not
yeah.
interested being the I'm not saying that anyone's not interested in being on the team, but like sometimes they start slacking because they want to go on to do onto a different team,
Yes,
so they
that's
just really don't
true.
care.
I've seen that with some players in the past that we had, like years ago,
Yeah.
where it's just like you
So
could kind of tell when they're just like, yeah, I'm done in
I
Toronto.
give up.
I
Yeah.
give up. I want to go. I've never got that vibe from like DeRozan or Kyle Lowry.
I
Like they loved playing here.
Yeah, they did. They like always was going hard. The one person that I noticed that didn't care anymore was like Lou. I don't know if you remember Lou.
Oh no, I don't.
Yeah, he was on our team like a lot of years, like a good years now. And he after a while he didn't want to be in Canada. He
Mhm.
started to slack. Uh,
Yeah, I just don't understand why they do that. Like,
yeah.
it's just kind of like my actions speak louder than than words. Is that what you're trying to do? But
Yeah.
I don't know. But I notice like when people, like certain people, when they know that their contract is coming up for renewal or they're trying
Hmm.
to showcase themselves to other teams, they start playing hard. Or like it's like
Yeah, there are some players like that.
I don't want 60 million. I'm going for like 150 million.
Yeah.
And it's like we see you. Stop the foolishness. And then some of them when they get the money, they don't play as hard. Why do you do that? Like you're
Because
breaking
like
fans' heart.
now they're like, okay, I have the money now. Okay, I don't need to play that hard anymore. I'm good. I'm
But
getting that
that's,
money.
don't you want to build like a legacy of, you know, like Kobe, for instance, that's like a player
Yeah.
like of course he knew he was getting money and he made a lot of money, but I feel like with Kobe, like he really, really was passionate about the sport and
Yeah, he was. You can
like
tell.
loyal to basketball. Like, and he even stayed with like the one team for a lot of years, Lakers.
Yeah, he did. He loved basketball. Like
Yeah.
he didn't go. You can tell. Not saying he didn't want the money. Obviously, people play basketball, because it's like their job. But like you can tell that he genuinely, after a while, just loved playing, and
Mhm.
it's like it's beautiful to see.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to see. I totally agree with that one too. Rip Kobe. We do love you, and a lot of
Yeah,
people
R.I.P.
respect. Yeah, a lot of people respect him in the basketball what is it, basketball world. They respect him and in other aspects as well. Okay,
Yeah,
so stop playing selfish ball guys and team play. That's the way to go. And we'll definitely, that will help us to make the playoffs and maybe like even a championship. We did see Masai in his press conference a few weeks back. He did say the goal is to get another championship, and I believe not just another championship. I believe they'll get many other championships to come.
yeah, exactly.
That's how much we believe in the Toronto Raptors. And then a third point that we have here is, well, we did see, unfortunately, Nick Nurse, was fired. Or they quoted it as parted ways, but to me that's like fired, because he's no longer here, obviously.
Yeah,
You
they
know.
just try to make it seem like sweeter, like
Yeah,
a
sounds
nicer way.
better. Yeah, nicer
Yeah.
way, if that's the word. But we definitely, I think it was time. They did give him an opportunity. I've seen teams like when they don't even give people, some teams don't give coaches like, a couple years to really get it together. And they did give
Mhm.
him some time after the championship and he still wasn't really showing that he
Yeah.
improved that much. But we do definitely, I think, going forward, need a coach that focuses on player development and definitely want to be able to groom younger players to be
Hmm.
the best version of themselves and to set players up for even further success. What do you think?
Also, too, like not we need a coach that doesn't choose like favoritism, like because
Hmm.
if you're favoriting one person or some people, it's like costs the game, and that's
Yeah.
what happens. Like and he ended up fired. So I think that we just need a coach that's, put his bias aside and
Hmm.
just coach our team, and we have potential to grow. And then
Yeah.
for the season, so I hope they can find that coach for us.
Yeah, I know, because I noticed with like Coach Nurse, he seems like he really, really played favorites, and I felt like, and I'm sure other fans could agree with us, like it felt like he like there was like some sort of favoritism with Fred Van Vliet. Like that's
Yeah,
what I feel that he was like, overly, overly, overly like
because he was always in the starter.
supportive of him. Yeah, and I get it. He is a starter, but then there's
Hmm.
times when he didn't play good. Like I felt like when players are not playing good, you have to hold them accountable. That's the way they're gonna learn.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm not playing the game properly unless I go out there and give my absolute best. And I think even like I remember when Siakam, and that could have been because of injury. I've never given up on Siakam, even when people were trying to like bully him.
Hmm.
When he wasn't playing as well, and I don't know if that was because of injury. Nick Nurse put him on the bench. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
not
once or
fair.
twice. So
Yeah.
how come when Fred and other players do it, you don't put them on the bench? Except for Gary, I think after a while he was coming off the bench. But like
Yeah.
you gotta hold people accountable. Even like Chris Boucher, I see because Chris Boucher has like a podcast that he does as well. He
Hmm.
mentioned that if you Nick Nurse is the type of coach, if you screw up, you will see your minutes go like in no time. So why don't you have this that you do to some players and then other players you're acting like you
Yeah.
have amnesia? Like come on now.
Yeah, that's wrong what he's doing because first of all, the only time I ever seen Fred on the bench is if he had like
Hmm.
injury. Others than that, he was playing, and even when he
That's
wasn't
insane.
playing that great. So like it's like be like share like be what's the word
Fair.
um fair, be fair. So I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, and we love Fred VanVleet because I know,
Yeah,
fans are like that are fans of his. We're fans of his as well, but we're just saying
yeah.
true, like things that we observe. And we're definitely grateful for him because like he took over after Kyle Lowry went to another team, and that's big shoes to fill. However, we do have to be realistic and point out some of the things that we're seeing because it's not
Noticed.
like we
Yeah.
watched the game here and there. We watched like almost all the games. Like, we're tuned in and we see what's
Yeah.
going on. So we definitely need somebody that focuses on a player development. Like, had we had that type of coach, we would have seen that a lot of the players would have gotten more opportunity to shine, opportunity to grow a lot
Hmm.
more. And because Nick Nurse never focused on like player development as well with the younger guys, now they're gonna have to like we're going into a new season soon where it's just like I don't know if these players are going to be even ready for the new season. I know a lot of them may like in the summer break they may work on themselves, but
Hmm.
I feel like he set us back a lot and I'm so happy that they fired him and then we get to
Oh
move
gosh.
on and because it was like it, it was detrimental to the team, I think.
Yeah, and it also too like if they're not playing, he's not playing certain players. It kind of makes them kind of like sad, like you know, and then they
Hmm.
don't even play good. Because if you're sad, even if you come off the bench, right, and even if you have less minutes, it's
Hmm.
kind of like, ugh, like I'm gonna have to go back and sit down soon.
I'm only playing 50 seconds. What is that?
Yeah,
Like you could
yeah,
barely move the ball that much within like 50 or a minute of play. You know what I mean? How much
yeah.
can you
Oh
really
my god.
showcase yourself? Like 10 or 15 minutes. And what it is so detrimental that the younger players never got to play because it impacted the starters. The starters were playing like 40 plus minutes at times.
Yeah, that's too much. Your poor little heart's probably saying like, "Let me
I'm
sit
ready to give up
down."
now.
Oh my gosh. No, but
And
like
that's
that was like kind of like torture, like running
it.
back and forth for like that long. Like, mm-mm-mm.
And that's when when I was watching it at home, I seen some of the players, they're like you feel like their heart is pumping, like you could tell. Like even when
Yeah.
the other team fouls them or whatever, and you see them
Mhm.
take a little break. I seen Siakam put his hand up on his head a couple times, and I was like, yo,
Okay. He's probably like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait for this game to be done. I'm tired."
honestly, I love basketball, but I could never play. It's a lot of
Yeah, it's too
running,
much running.
and you
Mm-mm.
have people out here working you. Like, come on now.
Yeah, it's mm-mm. Too much. Plus, you have after that, after they finish the game, right?
They gotta
Even
go
though they have
talk.
some, yeah, it's not. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
not only that, like then after that, they might have, be able to have a little like snack or their food, but then
Mhm.
they go home and rest. The next day, right? They have to go do practice, and you're
That's
running
insane.
again.
Then you're running again. And you had me the day before, 40 plus
Yeah.
minutes, running up and down like if I'm a sweat dog. Come on now. You gotta do better, Nick Nurse. Whatever team you go to, and I honestly think Milwaukee might pick him up because some of the other teams
Yeah, I
went,
heard that yeah,
yeah,
they
because they
need a new
fired
coach.
their coach, so they might pick him up or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, our players this new season, whoever coach that we get, I want them to focus on playing some of the younger guys and give the
I think
starters
that
a rest. Yeah, go ahead.
Raptors should pick up Milwaukee's coach. What do you think?
Yeah, so that gives us a good segue into our next topic where we're going to talk about
Yeah.
potential coaches that we think that would be good to coach the Raptors for the new season. And then what you mentioned, Mike Boldenhoser, I think that's his name, is a really good candidate in my opinion that we should try to like interview and see if he has a good game plan on helping us to become better. He's been a coach for like
Hmm.
almost 30 years. I think it's like from 1993.
Oh
And he's
wow.
won two championships too. That's why I'm kind of surprised that, Milwaukee let him go. What do you think?
Yeah, but I think the reason why they let him go is because they were like the number one team, and
Yes, you're right.
they just got kicked out at the first round. You know, of course you're gonna fire a coach. You're gonna be like, "What? You're not leading our team properly. We were number one. How are we not number one anymore?"
Yes, I agree
So
with you. And I guess probably, the team owners are kind of looking at it like you didn't make the proper adjustments.
yeah,
And
so
and that impacted us that we were not able to make it to the second round. So
yeah,
I think that's how they're kind of looking at it. But I think it'd be a good pickup for us. I wouldn't mind
yeah,
him
because he can give us
being our
some
coach.
points like how they play. We can kind of beat them a little bit there, right?
Hmm.
Because the secrets from how he coached there, obviously, we're gonna end up getting some of
We're
the
gonna
secrets
end
of
up
how.
getting, yes,
Yeah,
yes. And even aside from even development, even if you know, I think he's also a good coach because Milwaukee do play defense as well. It's one of those
yeah,
teams
their
that
defense is
play
strong. Yeah.
defense. So it's not like we're kind of losing in the sense that, Nick Nurse was kind of the only coach one of the few coaches that did defensive schemes. I think
Hmm.
Mike does that as well. So that's definitely a good pickup. And then
And our team
Adrian,
needs that.
yeah, totally.
Our team needs the defense, so That would be great if we can get
Yeah,
that
defense
coach.
helps pe teams win, and sometimes people don't like playing defense because it's kind of gets you down to the nitty-gritty. But I think defense really, really helps frustrate other opponents. So, what do you think about Adrian Griffin of Mexico?
I think he should be. Besides Mike, if Mike isn't picked, I think
Hmm.
Adrian should be picked because like he knows the team already.
Hmm.
He's been a past basketball player, so he has like experience, and then also he's coached other teams. And
Hmm.
like I think like they seem to like enjoy his company and enjoy him coaching because like literally when Nick
Hmm.
Nurse was absent, he was coaching the team and they were like excited, to have
Yes.
him coaching. So I think he would be a great pick. So like I really hope they would choose him, but who knows?
Yeah, it's all up to management and who they want to pick. But like,
Yeah.
if you already have, a guy there as an assistance coach, why not go ahead and pick him? And, Adrian is not somebody that's just like new to the NBA. He's been in the NBA for almost 19 years. And as
Hmm.
Akisha mentioned, he has coached many other teams. I even think like Milwaukee was one of them. And I think he must have done like Oklahoma, I think as well. So it's not, and he was also a player for a number of
Yeah.
years. So, he knows the ball from two different perspectives as a player, and he knows it from that coaching standpoint. And then he
Hmm.
also is a coach, like he helps coach the bench. So I think he would be perfect for the role. And I think it would be a little bit of I know it's business as usual, and I know in business there's like sometimes no feelings, but I feel like it would be a slap in the face if they don't give it to him.
Yeah, it is because you could tell that they enjoy like him coaching, and then he's been there for so long and not get the job. It's
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
what
embarrassing.
it's kind of
Yeah.
embarrassing, and I would feel if that was me, I'd feel some type of way. Like I'd feel like, you know what, I'm not really valued here as much. And I think if they don't pick him, I don't see him being here too long after that. That's just
No,
my
he won't
opinion.
because he's gonna be like, you don't think I'm good enough to be a coach.
Or get the promotion, because that's a
Yeah,
promotion.
because didn't they give wasn't Nick Nurse the assistant coach,
Yeah,
and
under
then they gave
Casey.
him the promotion?
Yes,
Yeah,
under Casey.
so
So,
they can give
chop,
him
chop,
two.
chop, give it to him. Let's get it going. But I mean, for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, if they don't, I think Mike would be a great pickup for our team in itself. So there we have it. Is a good discussion on how we can help the Toronto Raptors improved. We really enjoyed the conversation.
All right, so there you have it. There, those are the thoughts on the Raptors and how they can improve their game. What do you think? Do you agree with us? Let us know in the comments below.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube and TikTok channel for more basketball content. Of course, we always talk about different topics, but as the season, as it comes into a new season and we watch more games, we'll definitely give our feedback and our perceptions on the Raptors. So thanks again for listening. Bye,
Thank you guys.
guys.
Bye.